どうも、ヒューマンビートボクサーのmomimaruです。今回はスペシャルゲストの講座となっております。日本人の皆さん、インワードリップベース大好きだと思うんですけれども、もうインワードリップベースといえばこの人ということで、今回はNaPoMに来ていただいております。
はい。
よろしくお願いします。
So I'm going to give you a couple tips for the inward lip bass lip roll stuff. I think one big tip is practice on a microphone, practice on a real sound system. It's always good to, beatbox in the shower, beatbox walking down the street. But for lip rolls, you can really hear their power in the very specific frequencies when you're practicing on a mic and a nice sound system with a subwoofer. You gotta feel that bass, that real bass frequency. So if you have any chance to practice on a microphone, a nice subwoofer, and obviously on a stage in front of people is really good. It's the best way that you can really hear those details in the frequencies. Yeah, I feel like these days, a lot of people know how to do the technique of a lip roll because it's just kind of a meta beatbox sound nowadays. A lot of people know how to do it. But to get it to sound the best, you want to focus on the frequency, not so much the power or the volume of it. You want to get a nice tone with it. You want to be able to control the tone too. Do scales with your lip rolls, do different bass lines, control the notes because it can be used as a very fine bass line. There's a lot of different resonances, frequencies that you can get with it by just moving different parts of your tongue, changing the amount of space that there is inside of your mouth. Maybe the tightness of the lip roll will change how wet and dry it sounds. So yeah, there's a lot of different things that you can experiment with, and I think that it's good to listen to real bass lines in dubstep music or trap music, different things like that, house, drum and bass, just to see how the transients and the resonances change in those bass lines and see how you can try to do the same thing with your lip roll, because there's really infinite types of sounds you can get just by changing a small little detail. And yeah, there's infinite things you can do. It might not seem like that on the surface, just learning the technique. But once you get those sounds, really see how you can just change it a tiny bit to make it sound a little bit different. And then when it comes to using it in a musical, composition, you can use all these different resonances just like any dubstep or trap producer would do.
最初、インワードリップベースはどうやって練習したの？
I don't know. I really don't know. I was inspired at first by Alem because I heard him do a crazy beat. And I just thought it was the craziest sound ever. And then when I learned that one first, all the other variations kind of came after time through breathing and experimenting. But practicing on a mic was a really, really big part of being able to control it too and control the tones of it. Because like I said, I think anybody can learn the technique, but to control it, it's like Peter Parker. With great power comes great responsibility.
なるほど。だから本当にそれこそ力任せに吸ったりとか、そのパワーとか勢いとか低さとかよりもいろんなコントロールができるようになることによってより質が上がっていっていいインワードリップベースになるってことね。やっぱり最初はインワードリップロールから練習した方がいいのかな？
Yeah, so I do recommend other people, if you're trying to learn the lip roll, try to learn this one first, which I like to call the basic lip roll, but it's not necessarily more basic or less basic than the other ones. It's just the first one that I learned. And that sound, it's done not breathing at all. It's actually similar to a just elongated and really stretched out. So a couple things that people get confused about is the sound that the side that I'm doing the sound on, which is my left side, is actually very loose, which allows my lips to oscillate. And then the opposite side of my mouth is actually really tight because I'm pulling my lips over this way. Yeah, so I feel the muscles over here pulling my mouth over, so it's really tight on this side. And then that's done to make this side as loose as possible so that whenever I go, and then all the other fun stuff that comes with breathing once you're in that position. So to get that oscillation down can be pretty easy or pretty hard. It takes different people different amounts of time. It really does depend. But then from there, you can start to use your lungs and breathe in with that same oscillation. And then if I move my tongue around while it's in there, it'll change the resonance like I was talking about. That's just my tongue moving back and forth a little bit. And then if I remove the oscillation, so my lips don't flap anymore, but I'm still breathing in and dragging in that note, makes that sub bass lip roll really pop out. And something weird about the sub bass, and this is what I'm talking about with the practice on a mic and the frequencies and all these important things, is the sub bass lip roll is actually the most quiet one when I do it acoustically. But when you do that on a mic and compress it the right way, all those frequencies just come out because it's almost pure sub. So sometimes, like in certain sound systems in certain battles, you actually shouldn't do that sound, because if they don't have a subwoofer, you're not going to really hear it. You'll just hear the low tone. Fun fact, that actually happened at the Maestro battle this year, and Wally was the winner, but Wally was doing tons of sub bass lip rolls and you barely even heard it, but the judges just knew that he was nice.
僕インワードリップベースすごい苦手なんですけども、僕が今からやるんでアドバイスもらってもいいですか？
Sounds pretty good to me. I think, well, here's where I contradict myself a little bit. I don't think it's like the power is the most important, but I think you should be able to do it as powerful as you can, because it's kind of weird, but I think like if you can go this powerful and still control the tone, then you should be able to do everything under it. So you want to be able to do it really loud, but still control it so that you have control over all the other levels too. So if anything, I just think put some more pop into that. Don't be afraid to sweat while you beatbox, while you're doing lip rolls. I sweat all the time when I'm beatboxing because of how much breath and energy I put into that shit.
じゃあ、最後に日本のファンの人たち向けてワンルーティンお願いしてもいいですか？ナイス、完璧。
Thank you.
ありがとうございました。皆さんもインワードリップベースたくさん練習してNaPoMみたいな最強のインワードリップベースを目指してみてください。ありがとうございました。バイ。